Thank you so much for joining in that prayer. We have a very short message for you all tonight. You did not come to hear me preach. And I recognize that. I remember that. But I wanted to share just a brief thing with you to help us get ready to hear the story of Christmas again. This is probably the most important story that we will hear. It is God's love story to this world. It is the story of a God that's desperate. But why? Why is it so important, and why is God so desperate in this story? It's for us, for you and for me. This is a story about God so loving the whole world that in his desperate love, he reaches out to us and comes to us as Jesus. You see, God came for you. Jesus is the reason we celebrate, right? But we are the reason that Jesus came. God wrapped himself in the story of his own creation, to be born as we are, to be flesh as we are. It is called the incarnation. It is Emmanuel. It is God with us. He wanted to be born as us so that he could be with us, so that he could lead us in love and life. Today, his love and his spirit still wants to be in our flesh, in our lives, in our bodies, and in our stories. God is still reaching out to us today, just as he did on that very first Christmas. You see, Christmas is the birth of Christ, but is an invitation every year for Christ to be born again in each of us. Now, part of the Christmas story is that there was no place for Jesus to be born. They traveled to a town called Bethlehem, and there's no place for him. But God makes room, and they find an empty manger. It's not about being perfect to receive Christ. It's just about being open. Just about saying, there's a room here. There's room in my life, and I would like to hold you in it. Christmas is the invitation for each and every one of us to make that room again. For tonight, for tomorrow, for the coming year, for our lives. It's a choice we make to receive and hold Christ, to become like Mary, bearing Christ in our life and carrying that love into the world. There's a classic Christmas hymn. It's a song called "O Little Town of Bethlehem." You may or you may not have heard it, but there's one voice that speaks to this truth I want to share. How silently, the wondrous gift is given. So God imparts to human hearts the blessings of his heaven. No ear may hear his coming, but in this world of sin, where meek souls will receive him, still the dear Christ enters in. The manger becomes the birthplace for Christ, and in doing so, for all humanity. For when we make room for Jesus to be born again in our lives, we are changed. And as a result, the world is changed. And so I just want to invite you again, as we look forward to hearing the Christmas story told again, let us prepare our hearts and our minds to the story and the invitation that Christmas offers us, so that with Jesus, we may offer the hope, peace, joy, and love of God to this world. And so, I'm done. I'm done. I told you.